in America. Oh, where's the IRL stream with C-Dog VA? Well, if you don't know, if you happen to only see one of my tweets and not the other one, which would be a bit weird, here's the situation, right? So we had this tweet here. I guess let's go back. I had planned to go to Japan for 1 month, right? When I originally went to Japan, it was for a 1 month trip. A little under a month. It was like 25 days because February is a bit of a short month. I had something to do at the end of the month. It was 25 days. Part of the trip, Cutie was supposed to go with me, and it was supposed to be a week of us together in Japan during Valentine's Day. So it'd be like, a couple date trips to like some ryokans, go to Kyoto, wear those kimonos, cute little, eat some sushi. Great, cute, lovely. Problem, Cutie is in her no flying phase, okay? Everybody has phases in life. She's in her no fly phase. Occasionally in life, she oscillates between I will not fly or I will fly, but I will have a devastating panic attack on the flight. And for the few years that I've known Cutie, she's generally been in the I will fly but have a giant panic attack stage. Recently, though, she's been like a little more anxious about it. And it's not like the Japan flight is a cakewalk. It would be the longest uninterrupted, right, direct flight that she's ever taken. And there's no way to like break it up into stops. I've asked her this before. I was like, what would you prefer, a 1 12-hour flight or 2 6-hour flights? And she would actually prefer 2 6 hours. I think most people were like, yeah, for sure, the direct flight. I like being on the plane. I do things I never do, like clean out the camera roll on my iPhone. But for her, she's like 2 6 hours. I need to touch the ground occasionally. There's no real way to do that. Like maybe you can stop in Hawaii. It's kind of out of the way. Most stops are like in Fiji, also kind of out of the way. It increases the flight length a lot because there's mostly Pacific Ocean between here and Japan. So she decided not to come. Because of that, I shortened my trip by a week, right? Originally, 25 days. Because Cutie's not coming, I thought, well, it's a little too long to be apart 25 days. Let me shorten it 18 days. That was my new trip, 18-day trip. And specifically, it had to be 18 days because at the last few days of the trip, I had planned on doing a Ludwig versus drifting stream where I would drift with the Drift King, which is not like a fake name. He's literally the guy who invented drifting, and go up against, I think at the time it was proposed to be against Hassan. But as I got closer to it, also a lot of things that happened. I kept calling Cutie on the phone, FaceTiming her at night. She was not holding up as well as I thought she might have when I originally had planned the trip and left. Basically, she was struggling. She was struggling a bit. I was like, so day 3, this is true. Day 3 on the trip, I had made a plan to return on Valentine's Day. Because the way it works, if you don't know, if you fly from Japan to Los Angeles, you will arrive before the time you left because of time zones. Japan's 17 hours ahead of LA, but it's about a 12-hour flight, including driving times and airport waiting and all that good stuff. So if I leave at 5 p.m., I'll actually arrive at noon. It's time travel. The trade-off is that you lose a day when you go to Japan, but you get the day back. So anyway, it means I could leave on Valentine's Day in Japan and then arrive on Valentine's Day in America. I could even leave at 5 p.m. in Japan and I arrive at 10, 11 a.m. in America. That was my plan. Day 3, I had this plan. Genius plan, I thought. So I'm going through the entire trip, having a good time, yada, yada. A lot of it I talked about on stream. When all of a sudden I see a tweet from a Twitter account, the Fear and Podcast Twitter. And I get tagged in it a lot. And I'm like, all right, let me check it out. So I go to watch.
And I've decided, as a surprise, he's flying home for Valentine's Day. Tuning in. I've decided, as a surprise, he's flying home for Valentine's Day. He might not, and I'll be really sad.
What if he doesn't? He's not flying.
Wait, bitch.
Wait,
It's so good.
has he said this?
No.
Cutie.
Oh no!
Cutie.
So I would hate to move in and have to leave because he's definitely gonna come home early
Cutie. Cutie.
as a surprise.
Cutie.
Oh
You
god!
think this man?
Tuning in. I've decided as a surprise he's flying home for Valentine's Day.
So I see that, and all of a sudden, I start getting flooded with tweets from people being like, Ludwig, you have to come over. You're a bad boyfriend, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, I've already planned to come. I've already planned it. And so now I'm like, well, this fucking sucks. Because now I'm going to come back, all right? And it's still great that I get to come home and hang out with my girlfriend. But it's no longer like, wow, Ludwig did this sweet thing for his girlfriend that he'd been planning on doing as a surprise. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, fucking, that's right, Ludwig, you should do this. I was like, I just fucking planned for days. And you know who knew that I had it planned for days? Hassan. Because day 3 or 4, I asked Hassan. He was originally going to come to Japan with me. He couldn't make it because, well, 1, he was raising a shit ton of money, but 2, he originally had the Streamer Bowl. And so I messaged him about how I'm going to come home early. He sends me a message the day the podcast is recorded. So before you guys all saw that clip and tweeted at me, Hassan sends me a DM that's like, bro, she knows. And I'm like, ooh. He says, yeah, I tried my best to gaslight her, but I think she knows. I was like, how? I'm like, I'm not sure. Women's intuition, which is a real thing, by the way. Fellas, if you don't know, all right, women's intuition, it stays undefeated. All right. I think partially because women's intuition also intuits things that haven't happened that maybe could possibly happen in some conceivable multiverse timeline. They're kind of like Doctor Strange. Women. Women are like doctors, fellas. And so it's like any conceivable thread they have an inkling of. They have a spidey sense. It's undefeated. It's OP. I've always like there's nothing. If I want to do like a fun surprise for Cutie's birthday, I'll never be able. I feel like I can never hide it from her. She always knows. Having said that, I have the opposite of women's intuition, which is called men are dumbasses. Which is like I look. She would never. But like Cutie has done things that like I've had no clue about. Like one time I was streaming on my streamiversary and she had 20 people in the house who had prepared a roast for me. I had no fucking clue. Right? I had zero clue. She could get away with anything. I would never know. I would just never. I don't know. Things happen in the world and I'm like, yep, that's a thing that's happening. And because there's so much going on, I'm just like, you know what? All I care about right now is making my coffee. And I just do this, and I walk to the kitchen. And I never know. I never know shit. So I assume other people are like that, not women, not Cutie. Anyway, women's intuition. But I'm like, fuck that. I want this surprise to be cool. I want to actually surprise her. So I devise a plan. All right? I devise a plan. It's basically a 3-step plan. Step 1 is I talk to Hassan. I say, all right, you need to gaslight her more. Hassan says, done. Not even because I want to be a good friend to you. I just like gaslighting women. You think I'm making that up. That's actually what he said. That's bar for bar. That's a quote. I'm quoting Hassan. He said, and I'm going to read it out. I love gaslighting women. And then he wrote in parentheses, I'm a misogynist. He wrote that. I have the records. Okay. That's a direct. He told us on stream. He seems proud of it. Step two, after that clip was released, I had to devise an excuse to be in Japan. I had to create some sort of fabricated stream, some sort of reason that my presence in Japan was necessary. And one thing that I had yet to do in Japan, even though I'd already been there about 12 days, was an IRL stream. It's a pretty expected thing to do, especially when you're traveling abroad, because, well, 1, I have a backpack, and 2, oh, cool new place that you've never been to. Let me show you around. So I tweet out this. Wednesday, February 15th, 2 p.m. PT, which if you're counting, that was 3 hours ago. My first IRL stream in Japan featuring Connor Dog voice actor. Stream ends when we walk 100,000 steps, and we can only eat drink from vending machines. See you there. Honestly, I thought it was a fucking dope idea. I made that shit up on the spot. I looked it up. 100K steps is ambitious? No, because it's we walk 100K steps. 100K steps across two people is very easy. It's 50K steps a person, and we're probably going to walk the same amount of steps. It'd take about 12 hours. It's like, it's hard, but it's not impossible. It's doable. It's basically 50K steps. That's a classic scam. That's a classic you're illiterate. Stream ends when we walk 100K steps. If we both walk 100K steps, it's 200K steps. Let's understand. Let's understand basic math here. I can't believe you're scamming your fake event. First of all, I'm not scamming my fake event. If I said stream ends when we eat 1 pound of rice, you would not think they're eating 2 pounds of rice. Son of a bitch, I'm tuning into this stream because they're about to eat honey, Ludwig is eating 2 pounds of rice with Connor. Yeah. You would think 1 pound of rice split across 2 people. Right? I absolutely would do a poll. I don't want to do a poll because sometimes, and I don't mean to start accusing you guys of shit, sometimes I think you guys make up opinions because they're contrarian to me and then die on the hill. False equivalency? Stop talking to me. You're ridiculous. This is a fake event. We're arguing. It's a fake event. It was fake. Fake. Not real. What's that one video? It was fake. Meme. Shit, what's the video of the guy and he speaks for like 6 minutes straight and it's this old show from the 90s and he's like, it was a ruse. It was fake. All fabricated. An absolute lie. A modicum of falsities. Yeah, it's the guy from Star Trek. Jonathan Frakes.
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. Not this time. It never happened. It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened. No way. We got you. Not a chance. Not this time. It never happened. It never happened. We made this one up. It's fiction. We made up this one. We made it up. Not this time. Wrong.
Anyway, that's me. You know, while I was watching that, I let it play for a little longer than I normally would have because I thought of a genius stream idea. What if I got like 2 people in addition to me, and those 2 people are like especially good at maybe improv or storytelling? Let's say Will Neff and Sear, and then I get like somebody else on, and we each tell a story, and only one of them's true, and it has to be some tale through history, and then that person has to guess which tale is true, and they can ask questions about it, and then chat could also maybe guess. We could call it like, do you think I'd be gaffing? Question mark. Would I lie to you? That's better. Let's call it Would I Lie to You? I like that. Kind of like Do You Think I'd Be Gaffing, but easier to pick up. Copyright? No. I came to it individually. Tom Scott does this. Does he do it with 2 other people? Because that's the Ludwig twist. It's 3 humans. Or is it just Tom Scott in Tom Scott voice saying things? He does it with 6 other people? Totally different. We'll call it Fooled. Anyway, I think this is a good idea. The facts are, I created a fake stream with Connor. I think it's honestly a good stream idea, but I created this fake stream. And then right after I did this, right after I tweeted this out, I waited like 5-10 minutes. I call Cutie. I calls her, right? So here's the timeline for the day. I see this clip from Fear and after receiving from texts from Hassan saying that Cutie knows. The clip is about Cutie saying she wants me to come home for Valentine's Day. I then tweet this out an hour later, and then I call Cutie. And she's talking to me. She's like, hey. I'm like, hey. And there's like a little silence, and I go, you know I'm not coming back yet, right? And it was a fucking heartbreaking convo. She replies, she's like, yeah, I knew. And I'm like, yeah, just wanted to make sure, because like I have a few streams planned out here. I still have to do like the drifting thing. She's like, for sure. You know, actually, I think I have to go. I was like, what? It was actually so sad. It was evil. I fucking hate lying. I never lie. I hate it. I don't enjoy doing it. I am too honestly, with you guys most of the time. But I feel like I'm too honest. I don't like hiding things. All right? Even lying by omission feels bad in my heart. But directly lying to someone, I rarely do. And so I'm doing this to Cutie here, and she's so sad. And the whole day, this is the day before Valentine's Day, the whole day, she's like, every time I call her, because I call her a few times a day to just keep up, catch up, FaceTime, whatever. Every time I call her in Japan, she's like, that day specifically, she's like, after a few minutes of talking, I gotta go. I'm just not feeling great today. I'm like, yeah, no worries. And I'm like, oh, it hurts so bad. But it's all because a good thing is being planned. All right. And so in the meanwhile, that the entire day, all I am doing is one, getting ready to leave Japan, because there's a lot of shit that I have to do. I have to clean up my apartment. I have to pack up the computer that I had there. I have to return the rental e-bike that I had. And then also, I'm just buying a bunch of things for Cutie for Valentine's Day. So like I did this crane game stream with Connor, or video with Connor that you guys will see, and I got her this huge plushie. I got her like this custom Japanese knife. It's like a Western style knife, but with the Damascus steel that has Swift etched in with katakana. Fucking dope shit. And I'm getting all that stuff. I got her some cute little strawberry desserts. And then I board the plane. And I'm overthinking this level 500. In my head, I'm like, women's intuition. I have to beat women's intuition. And so I'm like, all right, if I'm woman, what am I doing? First thing, taking a look at the knockers a la Scooby-Doo. That's inappropriate. First thing is I'm like, all right, I have to figure out Find My Friend. All right, because we have location on, obviously. And so I'm on the plane, and the Find My Friend has like where you are located with the blue dot. I turn it off on the plane because you can turn off your own location, and then it freezes the last spot you were. Not where the plane was at, because I would be at the airport, but halfway through as it's flying out of the city. That way, guaranteed, it would pause in like some prefecture or some area of Japan I would likely be. Because otherwise, it would be like, oh yeah, he's at the fucking Tokyo airport. I can't be having that. So I literally was looking, and I paused it. I'm like, clutched it. And I basically had to get through to her falling asleep, because then when she'd wake up, I would already be in America. So that was my plan. And then I pull up. I have like the Uber, because I Uber back, park like a house away. And then this is where we have to break. I can't keep the bit going. I can't keep lying, because I pull up to the door. And the thing about Cutie is she's like a very anxious person. It is 100-fold when I'm not there. I don't know what about my presence makes her feel more comfortable. All right. I like, she has general concerns about like, you know, fucking safety, well-being, all that stuff. I don't feel like I'm offering a lot. Maybe I'm a comforting presence. Maybe it's because I'm fucking jacked and ripped and shit. But when I'm at the door, I sit there, I knock on it, and then I get nothing. I'm waiting there for like 2 minutes, because I want her to come out and then have this nice reaction where I'm there and I'm like, hey, I'm fucking here. I lied to you. Got you, bitch. But nothing. And I can only imagine if I'm Cutie, I probably knocked on the door, and then she's like this. She's like the SpongeBob meme, like, where am I? What's going on? I sent her a text. I'm like, hey, something at the door from me. Nothing. Her phone's dead. I don't know. So I get into the door. I walk inside. And then at this point, apparently, I think slime was supposed to go over that day, so she thought it was slime or something. I try to go to the bedroom door. I knock on the bedroom door, and I hear the dog start to bark. Still nothing from Cutie. She's like radio silence. She's locked the door to the bedroom. Eventually, I have to be like, babe. And she's like, oh my God. So I never got like that. Well, she was very happy and surprised, but I never got the moment where she was like, opens door and sees me and is like, because she was like, I think in my head in the corner with a knife trying to avoid whatever creature was entering the establishment, which was just me, which was just me. But then she was actually surprised. I think half the time when I surprise her with presents, with gifts, with ideas, with whatever for Valentine's, birthday, Christmas, whatever, she fakes her surprise. I'm pretty sure she fucking knows every single time. This time, she seemed actually surprised. I think it's because I gaslit her. I learned from Hassan. I gaslit her enough to the point where she actually thought I was going to do this stream. And then we have this picture here. That was us doing Valentine's. We got a nice pizza. This heart-shaped pizza, by the way, $35 fucking dollars. Tasted like a DiGiorno pizza. Wasn't bad. $35. Christ. It's less dough than a non-heart-shaped pizza dough. Scammed? Yeah, for sure a scam. For sure a scam. Was it good? It was like DiGiorno's. The crust was a little better than DiGiorno's. I'll give them that. The box says L because large, obviously. The flowers I got her were fire, though. What do you think? Bohemian style? Come on. Come on, I go crazy. Shit, me? I go crazy, bro. So that's it. That's why I'm back in America. I came back yesterday for Valentine's Day to surprise her.